Hi everyone, I'm Mikey Stiller, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this webinar on living your best life. And joining me is Becca Hansen, our president and COO at the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Hi Becca, how are you?
I'm good. Hi Mikey, how you doing?
Great. So Becca and I wanted to come on today and talk about some of the biggest, most impactful lessons that we've learned through working with Bob and Sandy for the last 8 years, and also how these lessons are going to be woven within our next live event, which is the Fourth Dimensional Leadership coming up in just a week and a half, and encourage you to sign up and be there because we only have a handful of tickets left. So you can join us in person, or we also have a live stream option to come in live from wherever you are in the world. So Becca, you want to go ahead and get started? And I was hoping you could maybe tell us one of the most impactful lessons that you've learned through working with Bob over the last 8 years.
Wow, well, there are so many. There's so many different tips and tricks he's given us along the way over the years. But for me, I think the biggest lesson was on self-image, or one of them anyway, on self-image and building my self-image, because when I first started with the company, I was pretty intensely shy and didn't have a whole lot of confidence in myself or in my ability to do a whole heck of a lot. And Bob and Sandy both have worked really closely with me on building my self-image and my confidence. And I think that your self-image plays a role in pretty much everything that you do. So I never was going to grow professionally if I didn't believe in myself. I wasn't going to grow in my relationships. And I've really seen, as I've over the years done some things that make me really uncomfortable that I knew would help me build my self-image. I've seen all kinds of benefits from that. You know, my relationships are better, getting better results here with PGI. You know, moved into the role of being president and COO of the company, which is something I never thought before that I would ever be capable of. And I just continually did what Bob told me to do, make myself really uncomfortable. And I, over time, just really started to develop a strong confidence in myself and my ability. And for me, that was where I was really hugely lacking. So I was seeing all these really mediocre results in all of my life, and I was able to hone in on the fact that it was all relating to my self-image. It was all wrapped up in that. So once I really got serious about building my self-image and developing some real confidence in myself and loving myself, then that's when I started to see everything change. But I think self-image has been a big lesson for you too, Mikey. So what have you seen with that?
Yeah, it really has. And, you know, self-image is directly tied to your results. So you can never outperform your self-image is one of the things that Bob always says. And he always says that your self-image improves as a result of getting to know yourself better. And I really love that because I think over the last 8 years through studying this material, and actually at each event that we have the privilege and pleasure to go to, we get to know ourselves a little bit better, and our self-image improves, and as a result, our results improve. And I think that is going to be a huge plus for this upcoming event, is that Bob is really going to talk about self-image in a way that helps people improve their self-image immediately. So you can really get to know yourself, understand yourself, and appreciate yourself more, so you can create more of the life and the results that you're really looking for.
Well, I have another big lesson that I could share that I think kind of ties into everything is, you know, Bob in our coaching program, he'll say, I can't coach you your way, I can only coach you my way. And Bob has this way of giving you really simple exercises to do that will help you toward whatever it is that you're working toward. And when he would give them to me and then he'd check in with me and see if I had done them, and I hadn't, you know, I felt real sheepish, and I knew that was like the knowing doing gap, like we're studying and thinking into results in the company right now. I knew that I should be doing all these things and that they would help me improve my results, but I just wasn't doing them. And I just decided one day that I was going to do whatever Bob told me. And so I just became really coachable. I've noticed over the years that I don't do very well when I don't have a mentor or somebody who I look up to, who's achieved more than me, that I can ask for advice and bounce ideas off of, and really is a mentor to me. And so I just decided to sort of relinquish control and do whatever Bob told me to do. And next thing I knew, I was seeing some incredible results. And like I said, I had built a self-image that supports me in anything I want to create now. And that was a huge lesson for me because, you know, I think it's really important to surround yourself with people who know more than you about what you want to achieve and people who have maybe achieved already what you're working toward. And if you're not going to be coachable and listen to what those people have to say, you know, you're not moving in the same direction that they were. So I just decided to be coachable, and any little exercise that he gave me, I would do. Like, he would tell me to go and eat by myself at a restaurant, which at one point really was terrifying to me. And I joined Toastmasters to get out there, and he gave me all these really tangible things that I could do, and I just did them. And over time, I saw some really good results.
You know, Becca, one of the things you just mentioned that I absolutely love is the importance of surrounding yourself with people who are moving in the same direction as you. And I think that's something that we've both done over the last 8 years, but it's something that I feel like PGI does a really good job of creating a community aspect, not just for the people who work within PGI, but for our entire community on Facebook, social media, at our events, our clients. It really is like a family atmosphere, but I was hoping maybe you could talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so, you know, there was a time in my life where I really focused hard on kind of weeding out some people out of my life that maybe weren't supporting me in moving forward in this material. And, you know, when I first discovered this, and when I realized that I could control my results by controlling my thoughts and my feelings and my actions, I just realized that a whole new world was opening up to me. And when I shared that with people, they thought it was stupid, or they thought, you know, I didn't get a very positive response, let's just say that. And none of the people that I spent time with before were bad people. They just weren't into it. They weren't into spending time looking at themselves and seeing where they wanted to go and actually taking action steps towards those. They just were happy where they were. They were comfortable, which nothing wrong with that, but I was no longer in the vibration with it. So I just kind of made a conscious decision to separate myself from people that weren't involved in this material like I was. And our events are a huge, wonderful place to go and meet other people who are like-minded, network with them, create some really strong and wonderful relationships that will last a lifetime. And if you don't have anybody in your immediate circle, wherever you are in the world, come to one of our events, because you're going to be in such an amazing environment of people who, some have been studying this for a long time, some are just brand new to it, and you can see how it's already changing their life, and they're becoming happier, they're losing weight, they're earning more money. And those are the people you really want to mix with. And, you know, I did that. So I highly recommend, you know, taking a look around and seeing who you're friends with and who you're spending time with, and, you know, making a decision to change that if you need to.
I love that. You know, just as you were talking, I was glancing down at the chat and seeing everyone that's joining the chat is kind of piping in about where they're from, which is so interesting. We have Michael from Kansas, and we have Juno from Florida, and all kinds of different places. Jenny Lynn from Utah, Santosa, Leaf from Norway. It's just so exciting that we can all come together. And this is actually a good experience for those of you who might be thinking of joining our live stream event as well. You'll be joining, and there will be a live chat feature throughout the entire weekend. It's extremely interactive. There's a camera where Bob and Sandy talk directly to our live streamers. You have your own live stream hostess, so you feel like you're in the room with us. And you also get a little bit of added attention so that we can walk you through the exercises and make sure that you have a really great event. And you're also connecting with people from around the world, thousands of people who are also joining in this event. One of the questions that I've seen over and over again as we prepare for this leadership event is, I'm not in a leadership position, or I'm not a business owner. Is this event for me? And I think that the word leadership is kind of throwing people off, and they're not sure if it applies to them. And so I was hoping that you and I could talk a little bit about leadership in the context of this event, because in this event, everyone is a leader. You're leading your own life, you're leading your family, you're leading your happiness, you're leading your health, you're leading your finances, you're leading your own self to success and to whatever life it is that you want to create. And so let's just talk a little bit about that, Becca, and whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, well, I think that leader of self is such a huge thing, because you know, being a leader, I've heard Bob say that you have to be a good follower to be a good leader. And for a real long time, I was a real good follower until I started to work on my self-image and really work through some of the concepts and ideas that we teach here at PGI. And until you're a true leader of self, I don't think that you're ever going to lead anyone else really well. And I think that everything we teach here at Proctor Gallagher Institute comes together as what a really amazing leader is. You know, somebody who practices gratitude on a regular basis, somebody who has a strong image of themselves and can support one another support the people around them. And you're not going to be a great leader of anyone until you're a great leader of yourself. And also being a great leader, I think it's about taking responsibility for your actions. So like I was saying, when I first discovered this material and I realized, oh my gosh, I have complete control over how I feel, over how I think, and I can really start paying attention to how I feel. You're taking responsibility for your own results, for your own actions. And it's really important, I think, in any leadership position, whether it is of yourself, in your family, with relationships, you know, in the business world, you know, you have to take responsibility for your actions and be responsible. And knowing that you have the ability to do that is really huge, which is a lot about what we teach.
I could not agree more. And I want to just talk for a few minutes about the speakers of this event, because we do have an additional speaker joining us. Like all of our events, we'll have Bob Proctor, who, if you have not had the opportunity to see Bob speak live, you are seriously missing out. It is one of the most incredible experiences. You learn so much, and just being in that environment and energy is completely life-changing. We also have Sandy Gallagher, who is our CEO and co-founder of the Proctor Gallagher Institute. She is a complete wizard with visioneering, gratitude, business, money. She's extremely smart, and you will absolutely love hearing her speak and benefit from it. We also have Blaine Bartlett, who is not a part of the Proctor Gallagher Institute, but he's coming in to speak at this event. He's an expert on leadership specifically, and he has been teaching about leadership to individuals and companies for more than 35 years. So it's something that you're really going to benefit from. And when Bob, Blaine, and Sandy got together and were talking about this event, they were talking about what they wanted the event to be like in just a couple of words. And the tagline that they came up with was actively creating positive momentum. And I absolutely love that. And I think that really is what leadership is in the sense that we're talking about it. It's creating positive momentum in your finances, in your health, in your relationships, and towards your goals. And so I just think it's going to be a really exciting event. It's going to be a little bit different than our past events, but still very similar. Bob is going to talk a lot about mindset. We're going to get into paradigms. We're going to talk about the self-image. Sandy will go over visioneering and goal setting, and then we're going to get really deep into leadership as well. Becca, do you want to have anything you want to say about that or want to add on to it?
No, except that, you know, Mikey and I shared some of the biggest lessons that we learned from Bob, you know, and in the material that we teach, and it's going to be different for you. You know, maybe when you go, a lesson on the ABCs of goal setting and how to set and achieve worthy goals is what's going to do it for you, really send you over the tipping point. Or maybe it's a lesson in the terror barrier. Maybe you're experiencing the terror barrier right now, even considering, you know, a week out, deciding that you're going to head to LA and join us at the event. But whatever it is, wherever you are right now, you're going to go and you're going to be open and really get all of the little tidbits that you really need, because I don't think we could ever get tired of studying this material together. Every time you study it, every time you get into it, you learn something different, because you're different every time you go, every time you dive into it. And so everybody's going to have a different little takeaway from this, but it's going to be a really powerful event, and I'm so excited to see all three of them together on the stage. It's going to be huge.
I agree. And I have a question here from Alex, wondering if we could share the timetable earlier to let people around the world plan in advance. And so absolutely, I'll give you guys just a little bit of a preview of what the agenda is going to look like. We're going to start on Friday morning at 9 a.m., Saturday morning at 9 a.m., Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We'll go a full day, Friday and Saturday, end around 6 o'clock. And then Sunday will be a half day. We'll end around 1 p.m. And those are all Pacific time, so California time zone. And if you miss something or if you have plans that weekend, you don't have to worry. So if you're joining us through the live stream and maybe you're in a completely different time zone and that's the middle of the night for you, you get a complete replay. And so at the end of each day, the recordings will be loaded and you'll be able to go back through on the off hours. And then also you're going to receive a 2-week replay of the entire event after the event's close. So you don't have to worry if you have a lunch date that you can't break or have an appointment that you can't miss, or maybe you have work or prior engagements. You're going to have a full 2-week replay, and you can also replay that day's event at the end of each day. So the time zone will be Pacific because it is live and we have people in person coming in California, but you'll have plenty of access to all of the footage. Like I mentioned at the very beginning of the call, we have a few seats left for those that want to join us in LA. We're probably going to be sold out, I would say, in the next 24 hours. Those of you that have been following Bob, Sandy, and the Proctor Gallagher Institute for long know that all of our events sell out in advance. And we always have people at the last minute thinking, I wish I had bought a ticket. Is there any way I can get in? But once we're sold out, we really can't open up for more tickets just because when the room is full, the room is full. So we do have a handful of tickets left for those of you that want to join us in LA. And for those of you that just can't make it to LA this time, we would really love to have you on the live stream. It's going to be incredible. For $147, you really can't beat all the value you're going to receive being at an entire live event with Bob, Sandy, and Blaine, plus a 2-week replay. It's going to be incredible. Becca, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Just that if you missed any of those details that Mikey just mentioned, down on the bottom of this page, if you're viewing this on proctorgallagherinstitute.com/Proctor Gallagher Live is the page that we're on. There are some FAQs down at the bottom. So we've got the agenda that Mikey just went over, details about the live stream, system compatibility so that you can make sure that your computer will work for the live stream, and all the details about the event. So if you missed that, you can review it down at the bottom of this page.
And you'll also, those of you coming to the event in person, you'll receive a workbook when you get there. Those of you that are signing up for the live stream, you'll get your workbook a little bit in advance so you can print it off and be prepared. For those of you that are going to be there in person, I'll be there with the PGI team. We can't wait to give you a warm welcome and invite you in for the weekend. And those of you thinking about being on the live stream or that will be on the live stream, I'll be with you throughout the weekend as your live stream hostess and making sure that you have a great experience and have all your questions answered and make sure that everything goes smoothly. Becca, I think that's all that I have. What about you?
Well, I will also I'll be at home on this one. So I'm so sorry that I'm not going to be there in the room with you, Mikey. I am going to miss you so, so much, but I will be behind the scenes helping in the live chat. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group, I highly recommend that you do. It's a great way to meet new people who are involved in this material, and it's always super active around one of our events. It's a great way to network and run some ideas that you learn in the event past other like-minded people. So I will be there on the chat, and we have an amazing customer service team who stand by. We're there all weekend. We'll answer emails if you have any problems. If you're coming on as a live streamer, we'll help you solve any technical issues that you have. We've got a first-class customer service team. So you will never be alone. You will be just like you're in the room. And I look forward to seeing you all on the live stream.
I have a couple more questions in the chat that I just want to get through really quickly. Victoria is asking, what is one thing we can do now to prepare for the event? So I'll give you my answer, and then I'll give Becca a chance to answer in case she has something a little bit different. I would say start giving some real thoughtful consideration to what it is that you want. As much as you can think about what you want, what your goals are, what you want to create prior to the event, you'll just be that much more ready to get started in creating it. Of course, we're going to spend time talking about goals, but if you can have an idea of what you want, a picture in your mind of what you want your life to look like, you're going to be that much ahead. Okay, do you want to add to that?
I don't think my people said it better. I mean, you want to go into the event knowing exactly what you want, because everything that you hear, you're going to apply towards what it is that you've gone in there that you want. So like Michael said, become really crystal clear, create a mind of what that looks like, push it, and go into it with a mission of relating everything on the weekend to achieving this goal.
Thanks, Becca. Someone else is asking if the live stream is going to be available after the event. So you need to purchase your live stream ticket prior to the event, but then you'll get a replay for 2 weeks after the event. So hopefully that makes sense. You need to purchase your live stream before the event starts, and then you'll receive a 2-week replay once we conclude the event. So you need to purchase your live stream. And I'm just scrolling through to make sure that we got everyone's questions. Sorry about the echo there for a second. I think we got it all fixed. Some people in the chat are letting us know we had an echo. All right, I don't see any other questions. So I just want to encourage you all to scroll down on the page that you're on and find a ticket option that works the best for you. I just want to reiterate one more time, there are not that many tickets left to join us in LA. So if you want to join us in LA, I want to really encourage you to purchase your ticket right now. And there's also a live stream option if you can't make it. And we hope to see you all there or on the live stream. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.